There is no doubt stories are going to come out of heroism, stories of courage in the face of fire, stories of hope. But it is too soon, at least for me, not having had a chance to read in the news or watch the television. So I want to hold in our minds right now a story, a true story, that I think is so indicative of the strength and resilience of the Jewish people. This is a story that I learned about many years ago in the midst of the terrible terrorist bombings in Israel. And it was from the Jerusalem Post told by Barbara Sofer. It was about a young woman who was part of one of the homicide bombings in Jerusalem at Moment Cafe. And as many lay on the ground dying from their wounds, there was one young man, 17 years old, who was part of a B'nai Akiva group. It was on Motzei Shabbos when this happened. He had his group of friends. He heard the bomb, or kids. He sent them home, and he ran to where the chaos was. He arrived there, and he went to one person lying on the ground who unfortunately didn't make it. He went to another, and I'm sorry for the story with little children in the room, but it is unfortunately a truth. And there was a woman who was wounded and bleeding, and he normally carries a tourniquet because he's a volunteer with Magen David Adom, but it was Motzei Shabbat and he didn't have his tourniquet. So what did he do without thinking? He ripped open his shirt and he pulled out his talit katan, his tzitzit, and he wrapped the wound in the talit katan. And then he moved on to the next person. The woman was taken by Magen David Adom to the hospital. And in the hospital, the doctor removed her, whatever it was, and discovered there a blue and white talit covered in red. And it was right on an artery that he said another minute or two she would have bled to death. But it was the thinking of this young boy, 17 years old, that saved this young woman's life. I think it's incredibly symbolic that it was a talit katan, the tzitzit, because it is the symbol for the Jewish people in so many ways. It's the symbol of this flag, that in a minute we're going to stand up and sing Hatikva. The blue and the white of this flag comes from the talit, from the tzitzit. And what do we do when we say the Shema before Shema? We take the four corners of those tzitzit and wrap them together around our finger, symbolizing that all Jews are united, north, south, east, and west. Whether we live here in America or in Eretz Yisrael or wherever, we are one people. And so, while we remember the talit and the symbol of Israel and the fact that it is through mitzvot and loving life that we as Jews will survive, it is because we love life more than death that we will win this war. We will win this war. But right now, it is incumbent upon us, as I began this ceremony this evening, it's incumbent upon us, as Reb Hanan's friend said in Israel, to dance and celebrate. V'samachta b'chagecha. Tonight is our night to celebrate life, to remind ourselves that we as Jews hold life in our hands as the most precious gift. And the Torah represents not just this moment, not just the past, but the hope and possibility of a better tomorrow. And so let us rise as we sing together Hatikva, the blue and white symbol of that talit that that young man wrapped around that girl to save her life. May all of those injured lives be saved as we think of a better future.
All od balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia Kadima, Hail Zion, Sophia, O Lord, Tikvatenu, Hadik Babachnot Alpaim, Liotam Chovshi, Be'artzenu, Eretz Zion, Yerushalayim, Liotam Chovshi,